Paisley here. I thought I'd do the Decks for Decades video because I missed that shit and I really enjoyed it. I remember sitting there thinking, what decks would I choose if I was going to do that video? And yeah, I'm still I can only choose 3 because I've only just turned 30 this year. I can only choose 3. So the last 10 years, unless I can choose the path that I'm on from 30 onwards, because things have changed, I may do that. Might be sneaky. Yeah, I'll do that. So up till 10, 10 till 20, 20 till 30, and then where I think I'm going now. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Everyone in this community is always breaking the rules, okay? Just look at Kelly Fitzgerald. She can't just pick 5 decks. She can't do it. Okay, so this is just going to be a quick video, I assume. I do talk a lot, but we will see. I think the first 10 years of my life were just so entirely full of fairy tales and my absolute belief in fairies. I thought I could see them. I used to hang out in the shed at the bottom of my Auntie Annie's garden, and I used to make things in there, like out of clay. I'd make little plates for the fairies to eat off, and I'd make little chairs, and I'd make them like little hats and all sorts of silly things, all out of clay, all painted in different colours. And I'd leave them out for the fairies with little houses and things that I'd made out of cardboard, because I've never been good at carpentry. What are you doing? What? Salem making another appearance. But yeah, so I would say for the first 10 years of my life, I was just in another world all the time. What did you just knock down, Salem? Oh, a key. For the unit. Okay, thank you, Salem. I don't need that right now. So, of course, I think my first deck for the first 10 years is Tarot of the Hidden Realm. Because even though I was into fairy tales, they weren't all soft and fluffy and wonderful and amazing. I had scary dreams about it. I would read quite creepy children's books, not your everyday happy little fairy tales like Thumbelina didn't interest me, that sort of thing. One moment, actually, I have my favourite book from when I was a child, just here. Oh no. Okay, well, that's broken. It's called Stories by Firelight by Shirley Hughes. And the cover is very, very faded. Hold on. There we go. Very pretty. But there's a story in here, actually, that you will see immediately is quite creepy. There's 2 stories in here that are very creepy. I mean, some of these images are very, I mean, can you see? It's a little boy, I'll show you the beginning so you understand, who gets out of bed, goes through a little cupboard in his room and falls. He falls down into a secret place where he walks around and he goes down steps, and there's all sorts of nonsense happening, and I think there's actually quite a bit of pagan symbolism in there that I've only just noticed. I wonder if that was an influence. Well, it's great fun regardless. But yeah, children's book. And this is just one of the stories in it. There are no words in this particular tale. But in another one, there was one about selkies, and it's even the imagery is quite disturbing. It's about a man who finds a selkie woman on the beach, steals her seal skin so she can't turn back into a seal and go back home to the sea. Makes her his wife, they have children, and then, you know, she finds her skin and she goes back to the sea, but she sneaks in to see her her children, and it's incredibly sad and scary and strange, but lovely as well, very lovely. I do think that nowadays children's stories are too soft. You know, every time they make a TV show on CBeebies and they retell the Three Little Pigs, the big bad wolf was always just looking for a friend. I don't think that teaches children anything. I don't. I think the whole point was to teach them not to trust everyone. And that also beauty can be misleading, which brings me straight back to the Tower of the Hidden Realm. Salem, if you knock the camera down, I'm going to be very upset. Get down. Get down. Go on. Yeah, that was so close. So, yeah, straight away, Ten of Swords. Creepy artwork. But I adore this deck, and it speaks to me. Oh, how sweet. He's very sweet. But some of these cards are so beautiful, and you know, this even slipped into my teenage years, but we'll get into that. I love this. That's beautiful. I love that image. It's just absolutely stunning. Julia Jeffries. It is Julia Jeffries. She's amazing. Guidebook by Barbara Moore. Again, she's amazing. I wish someone would get her to work on an independent decks guidebook, because they tend to be a bit smaller and a bit less focused. Do you know what? I've never really looked at this image very much, and I've just spotted it now on the camera, and it's really speaking to me. I'm putting that aside. Wow. I don't know, I'm gonna have to do something with this one. That is... Oh, I have to look into this. I have to. It really speaks to me right now. So deeply. Oh, I love... Okay. But yeah. Tower of the Hidden Realm. I mean, if we go through them a bit quicker. Some of the images are so light and playful, and... Oh, I love this deck. I love this one. I love her. She makes me think of, you know, the Queen of the Fairies. The flaming red hair and curves, and she's just lovely, and I like her a lot. Yeah. But, you know, the Queen of the Fairies is not always to be trusted. She's quite a sneak. I love this image. He can choose to move, or he could stay still. He's perfectly safe, in my opinion. But yep, some of these cards are just, I'm sorry, I should be showing them, but they're so lovely. Oh wow. Sometimes it's nice to see them again on a different perspective. I'm gonna have to work with this deck again. It's been so long. I love that Hanged Man. Look at him. He's so handsome. So yeah, definitely for the first years of my life, if I had to choose a deck to reflect that, it would be Tarot of the Hidden Realm. I mean, just so beautiful, so beautiful. And the backs, they're incredible. I want to edge them, and this is going to be a controversial choice, I think. And see the gold here? I wanted to do the edging in the same gold, but I wasn't sure how that would show with... Well, actually, it's a similar colouring here, and the gold looks quite nice. We'll see. We'll see. If I do it, I will certainly show it. And keep me busy over the weekend when my partner's at the festival. I'm going to miss him. That Isle of Wight festival, I think it's a good few days to be gone, so... Right. The next deck that I would say reflected my 10 to 20 would probably be, yeah, I think most people who know me would be very unsurprised. Okay, it's quite simple really. I spent a lot of that time trying to learn about myself, learn about what kind of spiritual path I'd like to be on, because I've always been an inquisitive person when it comes to anything spiritual. Even as a child, I used to make potions and things, and I didn't realise that any kind of witchy stuff was a choice, that there were actually books, that there were actually things that I could do to be a part of that and to, you know, honour that part of myself. So, the Pagan Tarot. And I choose this deck because it's an everyday looking deck. I mean, the visuals are quite day to day, but they're mixed with that natural kind of, that magic, that part of being, you know, involved with other people on the everyday things that you do to keep your spirituality alive, that you use to, you know, commune. I mean, she's just sat in her pajamas. Just sat in her pajamas doing her witchy thing. You don't always have to be in an old-fashioned dress with a corset in the woods. No, you can do it from home. Popping into an esoteric shop, picking up her things. Yep, been there, done that. And I spent those years discovering that I was indeed pagan and that I was interested in pursuing that. Now, there was a day when I not long moved house. I had not long moved to England, in fact. I'd come from a very small town with very little shops and nothing of interest, really. And I love that. What a lovely image. The trees. Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, so I just moved house and I was walking. My mum said, go out, go explore the area. Just don't go too far because we're in a city now. And I was like, okay. I was 12 and I was walking down the road and there was £10 on the ground. No one was around. I was 12, so I thought, oh wow, you know, magic, I have £10. And I was very pleased about that. And I picked it up. I don't know. It's just at this moment now I'm thinking maybe I should not have done that. But I looked around and there was nobody there. I picked it up. I continued walking, and at the very end of my street was a shop, an esoteric shop called Aristia in Albert Road. That was in Portsmouth. So if you look it up, you'll see how amazing that would have been for 12-year-old me to find. And I had £10. And I went in there and I bought my first ever witchy book because it was the most magical day. I had my brand new bedroom. It was tiny. I had a brand new bedroom. I was in a new house, in a new place. It was all really exciting. I found magic money and I found a magic shop, and I walked in there and I was blown away. There were crystals everywhere. There were bookshelves just filled to the brim with books. There was a whole case of tarot cards. There was witchy necklaces and pendants and things in sparkly cases and giant crystals on the floor and wooden floorboards, and the whole place smelled amazing, and there was all this mystical music playing, and I was just absolutely in love, and it was like something out of a book. I fell so in love with that shop, and I will show you in a moment. Oh, see, that's a lot more traditional looking, isn't it? Not so much Rider-Waite-Smith. It's very again, it's almost fairy tale like that one, but it's almost mixing that with the reality of everyday things. Let's see if I've still got the book that I bought that day. I should do. I doubt I'd ever get rid of it. Oh! Where's that key? Thank you, Salem. You were right. I did need it. I did need it. Okay. Where is it? Ah, there it is. It's lost its I loved it. It seems silly, but I really do, and I had to keep hold of it. It's The Good Spell Book by, I think it's Gillian Kemp, and as you can see, it's lost its sticker here, and I've had it for a very long time. And it's the sweetest little book. It's got all these little ribbons hanging down, and it's just incredible. I just love this book. Just look, you can't not love this. I mean, it's full of like gypsy charms and all those kinds of things. It's absolutely brilliant. I adore it. Yep, it says on the back, open this bewitching handbook of ancient and contemporary gypsy spells recorded by journalist and astrologer Gillian Kemp, and discover the secrets of the supreme practitioners of the mystical arts. £9.99. You can't see that, but that's how much it cost. I spent every penny, and I would go back to that shop repeatedly with pocket money. So I'd have £5 and I'd buy a book on how to like on the things that you needed. I think the next one that I got was the next book, but I had to save for it, was it this one? Yeah, Eileen Holland's The Wicker Handbook, because it had a cauldron on the front and I was 12, but it's actually really, really amazing, and it has all sorts of, is it this one? It has a massive section just on correspondences of everything you could possibly, this is the only book you will ever need. You want to get into witchcraft, this will tell you everything. Well, the basics, but it will, so much information. And yet again, Aristia. Love that shop. But yeah, it tells you all the tools you need and what different colours mean, and different herbs and what they do, and different essential oils, and you know, their properties. And I got very heavily into a lot of that. I also bought candles in every colour because I wanted to start with spell magic. And I was away staying with my aunt, and my brother slept in my bed because our little brother was annoying him and he didn't want to share his room with him. We'll just show you some of these cards while I'm talking. And I came back, and it turned out my candles had been confiscated. Why, you may ask? Because my brother had decided to light one, and he'd accidentally set my bed on fire. And my dad had to run in naked and save him from a fiery death. And so I was banned from using candles, even though I was perfectly good at using candles. I was very safe. But no candles for any of the children after that. I like some of these. It's just... There's a card in here that is it's the card that made me buy the deck. Because it reminded me of growing up with my gran. And I will find it because it's my absolute favourite card. Where are you? Oh, have we got them all here? Hold on. I want to show something. the court cards, instead of being page, knight, king and queen, I can't find them all right this second, but you have things like the novice. I don't know if that went funny there because my battery is low for some strange reason. There we go. So you have the novice all the way up to the king, which would be the elder. Although the elders can be men or women in this deck, and I like that a lot. I like these cards. I'll just find that card that I absolutely love, because the only thing I don't like about this deck is the backs. But then I suppose that kind of reflects those years of my life where I thought, you know, when you watch The Craft and you think this is the most witchy thing I've ever seen. But it just doesn't, it does not go with the cards. In my opinion, it doesn't go at all. And I don't... Oh, this is a lovely card. Look at this. This video is a lot longer than I thought it would be. Temperance. No, Judgment. Judgment, of course. Alright. I am not going to find this card, I don't think. Oh, found it. Okay. Okay. And it's the Empress. And that is pretty self-explanatory. It just reminds me of growing up with my gran. What's odd is I can see myself in the little girl, and in the older woman my hair is naturally black, so, you know, it reminds me of going back and seeing her now, and it's just, I just love this deck. I think it's lovely. I don't use it very often to read, but I like the imagery. I look through it and, I don't know, it makes me feel nice. I had it on a wall in a frame for a while. Now, actually, I was going to choose the Bonefire. No, I am, yeah. 20 to 30, the Bonefire. Bonefire Tarot, which I have edged, and I don't know how well we'll be able to see that, but the Bonefire Tarot, here's the backs. I'm sure everyone's seen them. You can't see how bright this is. This is going to change everything, but no, didn't change anything. Didn't help at all. What happened, basically, was that I edged them, and I was edging them in blue, but they've got a two-tone effect, so they go from blue to purple. It's incredible. Anyway, that was just me edging them. This deck very much makes me think of the 20 to 30 years where I, you know, embraced my tattoos, and I was a body piercer for a while there. And this art really speaks to me. The rockabilly style, the whole scene. I did Miss Tattoo pageants at tattoo conventions, and, you know, just performed at things like that. Got a lot of tattoos. It was a lot of good fun though, but it really, this deck really speaks to me for, you know, those reasons. Like, I think some of them, the girls have like very bright hair, for example. I love that card. King of Coins. I love this one. She's painting the sky. That's incredible. I love that. Yeah. So it's a very, as you can see, it's just, it's a beautiful deck. I love this card. I think this is one of my favorites. I love that. It's so great. I love that she still has one shoe on. She's just, oh, I'm tired. I don't care. It's awesome. So, yep, the Bonefire Tarot, ages 20 to 30, and obviously some of that's still lingered with the weird hair colours and things. But I think the next step on my life came as a bit of a surprise to me, really, actually, with this deck. I had seen it around, and I wasn't overly in love with some of it, and it took me a while of watching videos and just trying to make a decision there. But this is the deck that I've been loving at the moment. Is it the Japri Tarot? I don't know. Don't judge me if I'm saying it wrong. but I should probably show everyone else, shouldn't I? The artwork of Nino Chapri, who is a surrealist Parisian artist. I looked her up. The Chariot. I think that's the only card that I feel doesn't go with the rest of the deck. It's the only card. I mean, look. It's just incredibly different. That is a beautiful card for the King of Wands. Wands, no, wins. Just assumed there. Six of Wands. There's a card in here that just speaks to me. There's always that. I found it. This one. I adore this card. And I know it looks like she's trapped in a cell and it's a very dark looking card, but I don't take that from this at all. When I look at this card, I see someone who has chosen to put themselves into a safe environment, somewhere they can just be themselves. I mean, you can see, look, the key's in the door on the inside. She can leave if she wants. There's bars on the window. I mean, maybe that's for her safety. Maybe she wants to be safe. Maybe she wants to lock herself away and take the time to reflect. I adore this card. And it really speaks to me. And just some of the cards in this deck I really, really can relate to. And there are others that I don't so much. I mean, for example, I don't really understand this interpretation, but it's fine, you know. Love this. It's absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me of across the road. We have a tree that in the winter it's a much larger tree. I assume it's a much larger tree. And if I stand directly in front of the middle of my my bay window, it's right in the middle. It fills the middle pane right across the road, and it's central. And it's gorgeous. And of course, because the sea's all behind it, you can see the sky changing, and that just reminds me of that. I love that. So I would say for the, I don't know, the upcoming stage of my life, it's probably going to be the Japri Tarot that might reflect that. There's a lot of unknowns there, though, isn't there? You never tell what's coming. You know, you might feel something entirely different in a couple of years, 5 years, 6 years. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. So this video has actually been a lot longer than I intended because I've waffled on for ages. But I hope you enjoy it, and I'm glad to be jumping on the tail end of this tag. And I hope that everyone's having a really good day, and goodbye.